Sandra.
Yeah.
There is not much to explain here about greetings. They're not really a rule. No. It's not really a kind of a formal lesson with a mathematical rule.
Sí, es cierto. No es una de las lecciones formales con reglas matemáticas para acertar, pero lo que sí que hay que tener en cuenta cuando vemos los saludos, greetings o presentaciones, que no son presentations en este caso, sino introductions, okay? So dice, let me introduce myself, permíteme presentarme.
Now, Sandra, you were saying a while ago when we did the first lesson that a way that you always remember this is from the Rolling Stones,
yes.
Which I thought was a good way to remember it.
Yes, please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. So, and then they make a lot of references to greetings and so on. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name. Encantado de conocerte. Espero que hayas adivinado mi nombre, dice la canción. And we'll have to play it one day so they can see everything they say in that. Bueno, a lo que iba, que hay 3 frasecillas que a veces dan problemas hablando de este tema. Pues, por ejemplo, how do you do? Ok, son 4 frases, perdón. How do you do? Que la respuesta es how do you do? What do you do? Que, a ver, todo el mundo tiene que saber esto ya porque lo hemos visto 1000 veces. ¿A qué te dedicas? Okay, what do you do?
What do you do?
How are you?
Sandra, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Sandra,
Yeah.
but I wanted to add something there. One of the most common mistakes that you hear as a teacher is you say, what do you do? And the student says, now I'm reading, or something like that, or now I'm looking out the window. No.
¿A qué te dedicas?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you do? Luego tenemos how are you doing? Okay, que es qué tal estás, cómo te va, okay? And how is it going? Okay, así que how is it going igual. ¿Qué tal te va? ¿Cómo te va?
Well, because how do you do is more encantado.
Well, how are you doing? Exacto. And how do you do es encantado.
Okay, you already mentioned that.
Yes, I did. Exactly.
All right.
Mucho gusto.
Pleased to meet you. How can you respond to that?
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
¿Qué tal te va?
How's it going? Very, very common if you hear 2 native speakers say that, it will be very compact.
Yeah.
They will say, how's it going?
Not bad.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
They will not say, hey, how is it going?
No,
No.
never.
Hey, how's it going?
So, yeah, and what would you answer to that? Hey, Colby, how's it going?
Not bad. I almost always say not bad.
Exactly, unless it's really going great.
No, mal. Not bad.
Okay, yeah, it's true. And ¿qué tal estás?
How are you?
Okay. So, how are you? What would you say?
Fine, thanks.
Okay.
And you?
Great.
But I always say, and you?
I'm telling you, I'm great.
Okay.
Otra manera de decir ¿qué tal estás?
How's it going? Or no, how are you doing? How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Como, ¿qué tal te va? ¿Qué tal estás en estos días?
¿A qué te dedicas?
What do you do? So, how do you do? Encantado. What do you do?
¿A qué te dedicas? El gusto es mío.
The pleasure is mine.
Encantado.
And how do you do?
Exactly. Y la respuesta, lo mismo digo, igualmente.
How do you do?
Exactly. Me alegro de volver a verte.
It's nice to see you again. Or it's good to see you again.
¿Te conozco de algo?
Have we met?
Eso, ¿te conozco de algo o nos hemos conocido? ¿Nos conocemos?
Have we met before?
¿Conoces a Miriam?
Do you know Miriam?
That's right. Soy Jill de Bigtech.
I'm Jill from Bigtech. So pretty similar in Spanish and in English.
It is. Quiero presentarte a Gus.
I would like you to meet Gus. Or I'd like you to meet Gus. I would like you to meet Gus.
Juan, Cristine. Cristine, Juan.
Juan, this is Cristine. Cristine, Juan.
There they are, introduced. Ahí ya están presentados. Tú eres el jefe de Chuck, ¿no?
Aren't you Chuck's boss?
Tú eres el jefe de Chuck, ¿no? ¿Qué tal la familia?
How is your family? Now, we've seen in our doing business abroad section, in our cultural differences section, that in some countries it's okay to ask about the family. Other countries like Japan, totally taboo to ask about the family.
Exactly.
So, again, we've said it a million times. You have to know where you're going and know who your audience is. But in general, I think it's safe to ask about people's family.
I agree.
Especially if you know them, if you have some kind of relationship with them.
Yeah. ¿Os conocéis?
Have you met?
Y otra manera de decir ¿os conocéis?
Do you know each other?
¿Qué tal las cosas? ¿Qué tal van las cosas?
How are things?
¿O qué tal va todo? Exactly. ¿Qué tal va todo? ¿Cómo has estado?
How have you been?
Yeah. Preséntate.
Introduce yourself. So it's not introduzcate.
No.
Introduce yourself.
Exactly.
I hate introducing myself.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have to say this. I am horrible at introducing other people. Normally when I am with someone and I see another person I know, I just keep talking and finally they say, "Oh, by the way, I'm John." "Oh, hi John, I'm Steve." And I say, "Oh gosh, sorry, I should have introduced you."
My problem is I have a hard time remembering people's names.
That's right. I can remember being with you at a business, kind of not a function, but a business fair.
Yeah.
And saying, "Why didn't you introduce me?" We were I couldn't remember his name.
That's happened to us more than once, I'm sure.
I was surprised that you weren't introducing me to this person that we ran into.
No.
What does run into mean?
Que te encuentras con alguien.
Yeah, tropezar
Tropezas con él, yeah.
And I said, "Well, why isn't she introducing me to this person?" "Well, it's because you didn't know his name. You couldn't remember his name."
So, that happens to me all the time. Quiero presentarme o permítame presentarme.
Let me introduce myself. So as the Rolling Stones said, please allow me to introduce myself.
Yeah. Tu cara me suena.
You look familiar.
So, pareces familiar. Tu cara me suena. You look familiar. Okay. No se dice, your face sounds me. No.
Especially not with a Slavic accent.
No. You look familiar. Tu nombre me suena.
Your name looks familiar? No. Because you can't see someone's name.
That's right.
Your name sounds familiar. I'm John Smith. Yeah, your name sounds... Your name rings a bell is another way to say that. Your name sounds familiar. Your name rings a bell.
That's right. I've always found that expression funny. I can imagine a bell going off in your head. Ding, 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 ding.
There's
ding,
a
ding.
joke. There's an old joke about an kind of a Quasimodo without arms in a cathedral, and he rings the bell with his face. He runs and hits the bell with his head, and then one day he falls out of the church tower and dies, and the people say, "Who is this man?" And they say, "I don't know, but his face rings a bell."
Oh, that's horrible.
So in English, it's kind of a play on words. Su cara me suena, usa su cara para dar a la campana.
That is horrible.
I didn't say it was my favorite joke. I said it is a joke.
So, me suena?
It rings a bell, which is
That's
colloquial.
Right.